Dodgers saw why everybody's talking about Jacob Misiorowski tonight. He strikes out 12 over 6 innings, and the Dodgers drop a 5th in a row.
Yeah, you would expect somebody with that frame to be able to throw 1 or 2 pitches out of, 5 really, really well. But the command is what really surprised me. The mechanics were so simple and locked in, and then with the slider and the breaking ball and that changeup, he looks like the commissioner should have named him as a future legend to go to the All-Star game.
Dodgers, as they try to snap the skid tomorrow, it's Tyler Glasnow coming back, and they're going to ask him to play stopper.
Yeah, and you know what? Tyler's probably going to be out there for maybe 3 to 5 innings. Hopefully he can get his pitch count up and get deeper into the game. But what you're hoping from Tyler is that he feels good, that he's healthy, and that he's in the strike zone.
All right, as the Dodgers try to end this skid, 5-game skid, it's only the second one they've had the last 6 years.
You kind of talked about your last outing. Obviously talked about just kind of when you wanted the strikeouts, challenging to get there. How much just kind of more free did you feel on the mound today, to kind of getting back to your true self?
Yeah, I felt better for sure. Was able to throw the ball to both sides of the plate today, which helped a lot. Just kind of had more of a mix. It wasn't as predictable as I have been recently. So, overall it was better for sure. Made some bad pitches there in the 4th. There's a few hits that just left the ball middle a few times, but overall it was a little bit better today.
Did you feel like they were hitting the ball that hard that inning though?
The one to Vaughn was the mistake. I left that slider middle. But yeah, Contreras rolls that ball, and then Collins, off the glove of Mookie right there. So those are tough. You can't really do a whole lot about that. But yeah, the Vaughn one was a mistake one for sure.
What were your impressions of their guy, Misiorowski?
Yeah, I know him now, huh? I mean, that was super impressive. Yeah, I mean that was unbelievable. It was really special. I mean, everything. Obviously the velo, but he's got 4 pitches, commands the ball, and made it. I mean, I don't know how you hit that. Honestly, that's just really tough. So, I mean the 3 guys that came out of the pen for them plus him. I mean, I don't think we saw a fastball under 98 today as a team. So, you can talk about struggling all you want, but I don't know how. I mean, this was just a tough game. We got to give up. I can't give up any runs. That's just the way it goes.
You guys were in lockstep. Were you feeling just kind of the battle amongst you two?
I mean, you try to match the guy for sure. I think Shohei hits that homer there. You try to make that stand up, and unfortunately, that 4th inning just gave up 1 too many.
Does it make it more frustrating when it's like that 4th inning, they're building the inning on you, like with those base hits, kind of like hard to control, especially with what's happening on the other side?
What's hard to control?
Like the way they're getting those hits, not super hard hits.
That's just baseball. It's just part of it. I always think that there's a line out waiting to happen. If you get a bad hit, that's just the way I look at it. So I don't think about it in terms of bad luck or good luck. It's just baseball.
When you talked about the offense recently, you've talked about just sometimes you guys have been facing some very talented pitching. It seems like that was the case today. What were you seeing from Misiorowski, and really just how he found different ways to limit the offense?
He was really good tonight. We hadn't seen him before, and the stuff's really good. The fastball's pretty special, and I thought he and Contreras did a really nice job of hiding it at times with the curveball, with the cutter, slider, whatever it is, and we got to some 3-ball, 2-strike counts, and he made pitches right there, a lot of it with the secondary to freeze us at times. It's hard to kind of find silver lining when the guy strikes out 12 guys or something like that. So I mean, it just speaks to how good he was, and they ran some other good arms out there out of the pen, and today we just really couldn't threaten. But Clayton was fantastic. On the heels of his highest pitch count game, to come back and give us 6 innings, save guys in the pen, and set us up to find a way to win a game tomorrow. So that was a positive.
When we've talked about the offense, just is this a game which you kind of just have to tip your cap to their pitching, and you can't even really look at just the at-bats or where you would like them to be and kind of making a step forward?
I think so. It never feels good when you lose 5 in a row. But today, I think it was one of those days where the guys just it didn't matter who was out there. He was really good tonight. And so try to wash it off. And fortunately, we have a day game tomorrow that we can get back, and excited to have Tyler take the mound again. And obviously, Ben is back online. So I think that, we're good as far as run prevention side of things and covering the game. So, we've seen Quintana a lot. And he does a good job of kind of mixing and matching the stuff, puts a lot of balls on the ground. So, we'll see how Teo comes in. Tommy will be in there. Teo is a little kind of in between right now, so we'll see how he feels. But, getting Will back in the game, back in the lineup would be good too.
Obviously, like the velo with him is something people talk about, but just seeing, especially early, like what you talked about, the secondary stuff, the way he could command, like, is it just a little overwhelming to face, like when you go into the box the first time against him, kind of trying to feel out how he's going to attack guys?
I think so, and like I said, I thought Contreras did a really good job of mixing and matching, changing sequences, and this is a guy that obviously it's triple-digit fastball, and the breaking ball he was getting over for a strike, and he was throwing it behind in counts, the breaking balls. So it was tough to navigate. Tonight was a tough one.
You had his last inning. You did get the third and second one out, and weren't able to get that time right. Just what did you think about kind of the way he responded there after?
He was excited. I mean, he's facing our club and at home. I think he's not really coming off a good one. So first time into the sixth inning. So he was, he left it all out there. So the emotions, I absolutely get it. And, third baseman makes a really good play, throwing over Shohei's shoulder, and we got to try to play for a run. And second and third, we're going on contact, and he was back, but still made a nice play. So you got to tip your hat there, but I get the emotion.
What was the right read with Ohtani going on that play where he tried to score?
Yeah, no, that's just a ball on the ground, and he was back, and, he made a good play. So I think that the way that Michael's swinging the bat, they got a lefty behind him. So second and third, we still have a runner in scoring position. We got to try to make a play.
For Kershaw, for this to be his last start before the All-Star break, is this where you expected him to be just going into the break?
I think this is best case scenario. I think that he's healthy. He's throwing the baseball well. He'll get a little break over the All-Star break, and he's picked up valuable innings for us. And so I think kind of where he started the season and where he's at now, this is as good as we could have hoped.
Tony, I think this is a franchise record for number of homers before the All-Star break. Just what does it speak to him, just what he's been able to accomplish this first half of the year?
It's pretty remarkable. Offensively, building up as a pitcher, to balance that out and to still be productive like he has. I just can't think of anyone that could manage that and be as productive as he has been. So he works hard. He's very disciplined, and it's been a great first half. It really has.
How has not having Muncy kind of changed the lineup these past 6 games?
It makes a difference. Max's presence in the lineup, and you can look back to any time that he's not available or active, what it does to our offense, the presence, the ability to hit the ball in the ballpark, the at-bat quality, being left-handed, all that stuff. And so there's nothing we can do about it, but certainly there's a void when he's not in there.
Early in this game, you were the only one to get to Mizorowski. What were you seeing from him, your impressions of him, and just what gave you the edge in that at-bat early in the game?
先発ピッチャーの印象と打ち崩した要因としては何かありましたか？
そうですね。どの球種もやっぱりアグレッシブに素晴らしい球種で、何よりも制球が良かったんじゃないかなとは思うので、よく言えば次の打席のランナー2塁のところで、最悪でも進塁打をしっかり打てれば。2対0で少し違う展開になってたのかなとは思ってます。
Yeah, just really good stuff, aggressive in the zone. But what really stood out to me was his command and control. The second or the other at bat where there was running on base. If I drove that guy in, it would have been 2-0. So I think the situation would have been a little different.
The offense, what have you found that's just missing right now? Today it seems like it was their excellent pitching, but in general, what's been missing?
打線に関してちょっと不調の要因は何でしょうかねと。
もちろん相手が素晴らしい、ここ数日素晴らしいピッチャー が投げてるっていうのももちろんそうですし、その中でも、さっき言ったみたいに、最低限の仕事、僕自身も含めてできれば、ヒットがなくても得点できる機会っていうのは少なからずあるんじゃないかなとは思うので、そういうシチュエーションをしっかりものにできれば、あとはブルペンにしっかり託せるんじゃないかなと思います。
Want to give credit to the opposing team. Faced pretty good pitching the last couple of days, but at the same time, even though if we don't string up hits, there are ways to still score runs. So myself included, we got to do a better job of, just scoring when there are the opportunities to do so.